Hey guys, it's Yankee Prepper, and I got kind of a long one here for you. It's over 20 minutes, and it's kind of a video diary of my first bow hunt of this season. And although I'm going to go over some tips and how I scouted the area out and some of the equipment that I used during this bow hunt, the real story of this video are the wolves that I encountered on this trip. Isn't that awesome? Day one of bow camp, I should say first evening. I got in, I put my climbing sticks up on the side of the tree, put my seat on the tree stand, got everything set up for tomorrow, put out some scents, got camp set up. Using the bow. This is all public land. It's off kind of a main trail here. I'm about, I don't know, I'd say almost an hour from the main road I came in on. It's all poplar and birch, pine trees up here. I'm going to spend 2 or 3 days out here. Hopefully one day, right? If I get one tomorrow, I'll be coming home. Let's hope. I turned in early and went to sleep like I usually do in anticipation for the hunt, but that didn't last long. The following clip that you're about to hear is the best segment that I could capture, and this started maybe about 11:30 or midnight. And understand that the audio equipment, or the camera that I was using to record this, is a flip cam. It's a very cheap camera. Actually, I paid $35 for it used off Craigslist. And they have very poor microphones on them. So that's how close this pack was. It was a pretty creepy deal. You know, I woke up to it. I woke up to my dog growling and these sounds. For those of you that have really good speakers, now would be a time to turn this up and listen to it. Wow. That was a pack of wolves. There's something very testing about being in the deep woods at night. What do you think of that, buddy? All right, 5 a.m. My first cup of coffee going. I really don't want to get out of bed. This is probably the hardest part. I picked up this little portable Coleman heater years ago. And it sure is nice for taking the chill off in the morning. So this place where I'm hunting right now was designated by the state as an intensive hunting area just 2 or 3 years ago. I think about 3 years ago. Which means you could get a buck here and then you could purchase for like, I don't know what it was, 15, 20 bucks. You could purchase 5 extra tags for does. So you could take, quite a few deer out of here in one season. And in this time, just this 2 or 3 year period, a couple wolf packs have moved into this area and just decimated the deer. So we're down, in just 2 or 3 years, we're down to 1 tag a year for this area. And 1 tag is enough. I've never taken 5 deer out of any area. I can't even use that much meat. But it is unbelievable how efficient and devastating wolves are, and I can see why our ancestors wiped them out of areas, because they kill everything, not just the deer. They wipe everything out, and these are not warm, cuddly animals. I wanted to show these in case you haven't seen them before. They're climbing sticks. I don't know, they're 30, 40 bucks, and they're an excellent piece of equipment for scaling trees, making it quick and easy to add on a ladder. And I'll take this down when I leave today, keep people out of my stand. I wanted to show you this too. These are pretty handy. Screw them into the trees around your deer stand. It's a solid old dead tree. I put one here too. It's just kind of nice for hanging your bow or hanging scent. I'm carrying 3 types of navigational aids with me on this trip, and pretty much this is what I carry on every trip into the woods. One is a primary and an absolute. The others are really luxuries. My primary, of course, is the compass, and I carry a compass in every pack I own. In fact, I have multiple compasses with me on this trip. Different pockets. The next one up is maps. Packs. And maps are really a part of modern day scouting today. It can make your life a lot easier just to have a bird's eye view of the area that you want to explore. So in this case, I printed off 4 or 5 maps and coated them in plastic, and that gives me an idea of where some of the hidden trails are, or lakes or streams. It's just really handy to have a bird's eye view of the area you want to explore. Lastly is a GPS. I started using GPS in the military before I got out. This one I bought 10 years ago, and I use it still on my ATV. Put a little Velcro on the back, and I drive around. It kind of tracks where I've been and how many miles I've put on. It's easy to look at, pretty good display. They're nice to have, but don't use them as your primary mode of navigation. In fact, I'm on the fence about GPS because I think it's allowed a lot of stupid people into the woods. It's kind of taken away, that one roadblock that if you don't know how to navigate with a compass or a map, that kind of keeps you out of here. But the GPS technology has changed that, and I'm not sure if it's a good thing or not. Another thing I carry on this subject is a roll of plastic high visibility streamer. And whether you're tracking a deer or whether you're scouting a new deer stand, this is real easy to apply to branches and trees as you're going in, and it's real handy for finding your way out by looking for the streamer. So it's just another thing I carry when I'm out in the woods. I often get inquiries about this particular tent that I use, and it's by far my favorite for late fall and winter camping. I've done a video on it already. It's up under Lake Superior Camping. I took my 2 girls out in this with the wood stove that I built for it. It stays pretty warm. In fact, hot enough to sweat in when it's 20 below out. I purchased a stove jack from an outfitting company on the internet. There are others out there. This is just one that I found and bought the stove jack for around 30 bucks and sewed it in, and so then I could use a stove in it and make it a hot tent. The tent itself is from Sportsman's Guide. They have a couple different models. One's an army green and this particular model. which I like. It's really good for cooler weather. Wouldn't want to be in it during a rainstorm. It's not that tight. It's not meant for that. Hammocks, backpacking tents are great for what you need them for. You know, when you want something lightweight and packable. But when you're setting up a deer camp like this, you want the headroom. You know, you want to be able to stand up. You want a place to put your gear. You want a table. And this tent is great for that. You know, you got lots of room and plenty of room to stand up and get your warm clothing on. I found this place a couple years ago while I was hunting with a group of friends, and then consequently started scouting it out, and then finally placed that stand overlooking this area this year. And what brought me here was a lot of deer sign. This is kind of a natural island and shallow point in the river that they're using as a crossing point. I could see a lot of track. There's a trail right there heading up into the woods. So they're coming down here and then crossing right here. And it made an excellent spot to take a shot. There's also some spots that I discovered along that peninsula going into the river that had a lot of bedding signs and scat. And then it's got natural deer trails going up and down here, bringing you out on that peninsula. It comes out onto the river. It's kind of swampy, but you can see a lot of natural paths in here. It's one of the reasons I decided to stick a stand up in this area as well. In fact, you know, I kind of toss it around that it wouldn't be bad to stick one up right here, overlooking this area. This is the bedding down points I was telling you about. There's actually some scat in here last time I was here. I think it's odd, but a lot of bedding down points that I find of deer, there actually is scat there. They seem to like to crap where they sleep. Kind of weird. In fact, there's some right there. Fairly fresh. Don't step in it. These are all older deer track. Probably 2-3 days old before the rains. You see they're coming up here and going into this area, heading towards my stand back and forth. So anyway, that's why. And you can see the pogo stick marks here. They're coming up. That's why I chose this place. Boy, the temperature swings up here are unbelievable. This morning there was frost on the inside of the tent. The frost was covering my ATV. It was about 30 degrees. I'm in the stand in the afternoon and it's, I'd say, about 70 degrees. I've got a t-shirt on.
last night, probably around 11 o'clock, midnight, my dog starts growling, even woofing a little bit. And he woke me up, and I'm listening, and I don't really hear anything, but he is definitely, his ears are up. He's pointing, towards the outside of the tent. I can tell he's keying on something that's out there. And then as I'm listening and he's growling, I actually heard a whimper. I don't know how many were out there, but that's how close they were to the tent, and they can smell the dog, and they're keying in on the dog. They weren't barking, but they wanted the dog to come out. They knew there was a dog in this area. They probably knew there was a dog in this tent, but they could smell my scent along with it. So I took the shotgun and I went out there, making as much noise as I possibly could, and fired off a few shots. I keep hearing reports about how these wolf are getting, bolder and bolder. They were even following a hunter in one report that I read, and they bit a kid up north while he was camping, while he was sleeping. So I don't know what it'll take to bring back that common sense that our ancestors had. Most people in this area that live up here, they shoot wolf on site. They just leave them. And they just recently opened up a hunting season for them, because I think they know, the DNR realizes they have a problem with them. But as for the video recording I even have here, that's more than a dozen wolf. That's just one pack. I've heard 2 separate packs working up here at night, and you just get the feeling that they must run the deer all night, and the ones they can catch scent of. Anyway, not a very restful night. I wanted to show you this as a comparison. That's my dog's print. Cup of coffee. My dog's about 75-80 pounds. Normal size for a German Shepherd. My hand's extra large glove size. So that's his print. Now this is right up by the camp here. And that's fresh. That's probably from last night. Just to give you an idea. That's big. Wolf have big paws. Mostly makes it a little easier for them when it snows. That's a pretty big print. And pretty close. That's brazen. He's really smelling them this morning. Wolves will kill other dogs and eat them, cannibalize them. A lot of times for a domesticated animal, they'll try to lure them out, either with females from the pack or other more docile wolves to get, try to play, basically trying to trick them into coming out and playing. And then when they get them far enough away from the house, or where they feel like there's a good place to attack, the whole pack will close up on them, and they don't stand a chance. That's what I believe they were trying to do to him last night. They knew he was here, and they were trying to lure him out without alerting me. Well, I'm packed up. That's my camp. Took me probably less than 25 minutes to put all that away. I have yet to go down to the deer stand. I got to get my climbing ladder out of there, but that's about it. I was going to stay one more evening and hunt tonight and then take off in the morning, but after that wolf encounter last night, it just kind of creeped me out. That was pretty close, and I don't think they were after me. I think they were, trying to lure the dog out. I distinctly heard
whimpering, you know, kind of like a whine, like they were trying to bait them, you know, to come out. And I just didn't like it. So I'd like to come back here with one of my 308s and night vision scope and turn the tables on them. I just don't like how close they're getting, how brazen they're getting. I got a feeling with all the wolf activity anyway, and my tree stand being a little over 1/8 of a mile, maybe 1/4 of a mile down the road, I doubt there are any deer, you know, comfortable in this area right now. I lost a trailer light coming in here, dragging it through one of those mud holes. It's one of the reasons why I drained it, actually, so I could see better on what I was getting into. But a little bit of duct tape will get us home, and it looks like we're ready to go. This is another area. This is actually part of the area that I have to come in by to get to the spot where I was. And it's not a recent clear cut, but you know, probably in the last 5 to 10 years. And you can see there's a little hidden lake down there. That kind of stuff drives me nuts. Like, I have to go down there and explore that. I have to fish that someday, or I'm just never going to be happy. This looks great too for setting up a stand. Like if you put a tripod in here, or even down by the lake. I don't know. I think right here, maybe in that stand of pines. See, I start to go nuts just thinking about the possibilities. Or maybe back there. But if you put one over here, imagine how far your view would be during rifle season or even black powder season. I don't know. See, there is so much adventure for one lifetime in this spot.